Hi, it's Marina bringing you part two, really, of the whole when did the Queen die? What does it mean? And let's have a look at what it signifies, really. Because what happened was when I did the other one, I didn't realise, and it had Neptune rising. Well, yeah, because the time was wrong, but it was because also British summertime, for some reason, that didn't come up when I drew up the chart. So, bloody solar fire, Mercury retrograde. Anyway, the thing is, this is the real chart. Well, this is the announcement chart. And I said, that chart didn't have anything didn't slap me in the face like as being very fated or what are they trying to tell us. But now when you look at it, look at this. So the moon Saturn is on the ascendant. So, obviously they made it as solemn as possible. That is solemn. Saturn on the ascendant, it's death. Obviously, don't take this as, oh my God, my chart's got this. No, this is we're looking at it as a mundane chart. So, Saturn rising, it's with the moon, she's a woman. So, so that's that. And then we actually have on the descendant is that Ceres again, which is Prince Charles, not rising, but he has it in his first house. So, that's uncanny as well because Ceres is ancestral connections as well. And it's, it's another mother, it's a matriarch for sure. So that's that. And then also, that T-square, which was, it's a feature of that week anyway. It's more, it's brought to the forefront because it's now rising. Also, the fixed stars, is the midheaven is Antares, you can see here. And that means that the Icy is Aldebaran, which is the dragon slayer. And it's also St. Michael, God's avenging angel, which is really interesting because it's also, it's the IC, which is the root of all this. So what is this avenging angel thing? Why is that important? Why is that the root of all this? It's cutting the root of something. One thing that people said about the Queen all the time is that I've been watching so much stuff now, and everyone goes, she was a constant. She was always there. Like prime ministers came and go, and she was always the same. She was always the same, and it was tradition was really a big thing. So it's like this Mars is, cutting off that root of tradition and the whole pageantry. You'll never get something as glamorous as that, as a queen coming to the throne at such a young age. I was looking at her coronation. She looked beautiful. She wasn't a classic beauty like Princess Margaret was much more classically pretty and attractive, but the Queen in her own way was, and it was blew me away. And we're not going to get that with Charles, doddery old git, sorry. But it's like, it's not the same. It doesn't have that glamour as the Queen. And we didn't really appreciate it, really, I don't think. But now it's like, His Majesty's, and I think that's why everyone's going gaga about that it was a queen, and that's why I'm quite surprised that a lot of very left-wing people are going on about how amazing she was. And I thought, it's because she was a queen, I suppose, and it's like, it's less patriarchal if it's a queen. But she was just as, she was her father's daughter, and in some ways she was more, he was quite shy. He used to stammer, didn't he? The King's Speech, there's that film. But she was a bit more assured, actually. Reserved, but assured. So anyway, I just think this is a very interesting chart. And I think Is this the one that has... Oh, yeah, we still haven't looked at her death chart yet. But yeah, I think this... I don't want to go on about it too much because really... But I just thought it was interesting that with British summertime, they did choose a very representative chart, but then to have Antares on the midheaven, which is it's the lizard. It's the lizard. So, are they lizards? Are they trying to tell us that they're lizards? Are they trying to make us turn us against the royalty because they're evil lizards? I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. So the next one is the real death chart. And this one has... Sorry, I don't know how to do... Other people know how to make this go in a little square, but I can't do that. Anyway, so I'm going to have to move things around. All right, maybe that's better. So the real one, wow, it has... Now, Mars was on the IC of the announcement, but on the real time, Mars was on the descendant. And this is the house of open enemies. And, you know, was she assisted? Injection? And it's on Aldebaran as well, of course. So slaying, say no more. And then rising is Razal Gethi, which is Hercules, the kneeling man. And that's kind of makes me think of being of service as well. And yeah, and being quite down to earth. But yeah, I think the most interesting thing about this chart is the Mars and the descendant. And anything else? What's the midheaven? Oh, the midheaven is Speaker, which is supposed to be really fortunate. Really fortunate. So, I don't know. Is it fortunate that she died in Scotland, maybe? Because everyone made a big deal about that because she loves Scotland, and we're kind of worried about losing Scotland as part of the United Kingdom, and somehow this brought them all together, and it was very moving, the coffin going through the streets of Edinburgh as well, apart from there was a heckler for Prince Andrew. Anyway, so that's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame. Not the time to do it, but at the same time, I could see his heart was in the right place. This guy, because they should have really just not had him there, Prince Andrew. Because for shame, he brought shame on the whole family. Anyway, yeah, I mean they got rid of Edward VIII for far less. So yeah. I don't know why they brought him in there. Oh, and another thing, yes, the descendant is Rigel, which is the stinger. It's the foot of Orion, who was a very alpha male hunter, and it was the Gaia who sent the scorpion to sting him in the foot. So Rigel represents the part of the myth where he was brought down by Mother Earth. So it makes me think, you know, the Queen was a mother first and foremost, and I think, like I said in my other video, that I don't think she approved of some of the seedy things that were going on around her. I know people say, oh, she was in with Jimmy Savile, but I mean, I don't know, he was knighted. But I do think she, you know, it's not really the Queen that's pulling the strings, is it? So I think she did the best she could within that, you know, within the shady people around her. But, you know, in her death now, I think the sting in the tail, there is a sting in the tail. And I think whatever they've done, whatever shenanigans have gone on, in order to manipulate this passing away to something that they want to do, because obviously they, you know, that's something, that they want to politicize. I don't know who they are, but anyway, they're lizards. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think there'll be a sting in the tail, and I think there will be a kind of revival of this kind of solidarity of being British that I've really seen. And it kind of gives me hope. I mean, like I said, I'm not blood British. I'm not English. I'm Sicilian. But the reason that I love this country is because it has this history, this royal history that goes back, thousands of years. And I'm a big fan of history, and I think it's lovely that the history is still here, and you've got a living, breathing monarchy. And I think, if you get rid of it, what are you going to replace it with? What? They're not that expensive. I mean, the tourism that they bring and everything else, and the whole, how many people? I mean, I think the funeral will be watched by more people in the world than ever, and all the advertising and everything. It generates a lot of money and prosperity somehow. So yeah, I know they're paid a lot, but who's it going to go to instead? I mean, look what happened to the monarchy in Russia, and what was it replaced by? It wasn't good. I mean, so anyway, so that's my point of view. I think one of the things I like about the monarchy is it's supposed to be. I like this duty that they have. I like its conservatism, and I like the way that it's still very religious as well. She was very religious, and it's the divine right of kings. It does connect by. I mean, there's all that thing about the Merovingians and whether Jesus was. There's that connection with Glastonbury and Mary Magdalene and the royal line and all these. I mean, there's a fascination with it, isn't it? There is. And there's something very fascinating with it. And I wouldn't want to get rid of it, to be honest. I don't think it would be an improvement. When you look back at all the time that England had a monarchy, it wasn't, people weren't suffering. People were very affluent. It was a, everyone benefited from it. So, and everybody who lives in England, and this is me getting on my soapbox, if you don't like it, you're benefiting from all that colonialism or whatever. If you don't like it, don't come and live in England then, because then you're living off the back of it too. But then I think it's fair, fair enough. But don't complain about it, because you're part of it. We're all part of it. If you live in England, you're part of it. Okay. Am I going to have to cut that bit out? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, I think everyone's benefited from having a royal family. And looking back at those old films, I just thought, because that's another thing that will happen, is that we're all looking back at these old films and going, wow, wasn't it lovely? Wasn't it lovely? Like the fact that the Queen's coronation, where was it? Well, they were all standing on the balcony and it was amazing. They were all in their crowns. And who's that one? Mary of Teck. I think she was the Queen's grandmother. Wow, that woman, she was quite scary. She was very severe looking, but she was like a real Victorian. But they fascinate me, lot of them. And sorry if this sounds very starstruck. Oh my God, the royals. But I've just always been into it ever since I was really little. So yeah. But obviously I'm not a fan of the P's and the Prince Andrews and those lot. No. And I don't like King Charles either. I just don't. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I just hope it can be revived, because the last I mean, since Diana, really, it's been tarnished, and I think they need to completely start afresh. And I think William and Kate are great. I really do. I think they have good vibes about them. Anyway, so that's that. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was Prince Harry, because when I looked at, remember we were talking about the Algol on the Queen's IC, and who else had Capulus? Oh yes, sorry, yes. Prince Harry. Here we go. Prince Harry has a yod, right? And it mainly points to the North Node, but Ceres is in there as well. And guess where Ceres is? 25 Taurus. It's Algol. So I thought, is this his mission? Is his mission? He was sent by some demon to bring down the monarchy. And pardon me. So I think it's really interesting that his moon in Taurus, hang on, wasn't the Queen, yeah, I mean, she's sun in Taurus. So his moon in, his moon and, well, I mean, that was to do with Diana, but you'll see that in the video that I did of Harry and Meghan. But I think, and look, this is the moon on Capulus, which is the slaying arm of Perseus. I just think Harry's a sport brat. I really do. I think his brother William is totally cut from a different cloth. I think Prince Harry is Charles's son, though. I do, because he's got the narrow eyes, and I think he's when I watched what's her name? Really Graceful, I think her name is, YouTuber. She's done 2 videos on Prince Charles and what the media won't tell you about Prince Charles, and yeah, he's Prince Charles mates with Jimmy Savile and wanted to have him as his godfather for Prince William, and maybe Diana said something like, no, please. So I don't know the veracity of that story, but it sounds, I don't know, but it's anyway. So the thing is, yeah, I think Harry is definitely Prince Charles's son, and they're descended from Vlad the Impaler, apparently. And I don't know from which side. It might be Philip's side, because Philip's quite a geezer, isn't he? He's quite a man, and he's not afraid to say what he thinks. And I think that line, the Philip line, the Prince Charles, that Harry, I think they're all cut from the same cloth. Whereas William he's so much like Diana. He to me, he's Diana, and I think Diana's line was a lot more. I just like their line better, and I think it'd be nice to see him on the throne and to be where Diana should have been. And I know she wasn't a saint. I'm actually reading the Real Diana book, which was by Lady Colin Campbell. And yeah, I'm already seeing that Diana she wasn't like, she had her demons as well. So whatever, but I think King William, I think, would be I just hope he gets a chance. I hope he gets a chance to become king before Prince Harry completely destroys it. I just think he's a destroyer. And you can see, I mean, there's loads of things. I mean, for one, he was the one that he thought it was funny to wear a Nazi uniform. So anyway, so I don't get how he can be so woke now. Anyway, so that's the Prince Harry. I think that's it. So yeah, I just think it's very interesting. Here's Yod is pointing at the Queen's IC, and what's going to happen in the future? I don't know. I think where is the real one? The real death chart It's actually quite hopeful. So I think whatever shenanigans have been going on, and there have been some shenanigans going on, I think the real death time chart with that Mars on the descendant shows there is an open enemy. And I mean, it's on Aldebaran, so they think they're doing something honourable. And some people say that Aldebaran, that just the whole symbolism of him and the dragon, that the dragon is femininity as well. That's been one interpretation of it, which I suppose could be also the queen and her sort of feminine touch with the whole monarchy and how she did it. And it fits with the Orion descendant, the Mother Earth bringing down Rigel for being boastful. It could even be the Queen bringing down Charles in some strange way from another dimension, and her having the last laugh, really, and also the sting in the tail. The sting in the tail. This tail, this story is the scorpion there from Gaia, from Mother as well, Mummy. So I think, if there has been any shenanigans, that it will backfire. I think that Mars there, it's like backfiring somehow. And Speaker on the midheaven is like this kind of brilliance. So actually, okay, yes, here is the meaning for Speaker on the midheaven. Unbounded good fortune, happiness, ecclesiastical preferment. So that's quite spiritual and good for Christianity, I guess. Unexpected honour or advancement beyond natives' hopes or capacity. So that's interesting. So it kind of promises much, really. I think the real death chart had something quite interesting to say. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it there. All right then. Thanks for listening. Bye.